Good evening, I'm Pinky Webb. Tonight we ask the questions, we tackle the issues, we clarify matters, and we get on point. The Transportation Department has taken action against an online travel agency for allegedly selling online tickets for local carriers at excessive prices. This comes amid a transport crisis in Eastern Visayas due to the partial closure of San Juanico Bridge. Transportation Secretary Vince Dizon also ordered the Civil Aeronautics Board to look into other online booking platforms that may be charging excessive fares. Let's get on point with the Chief Executive Officer of Move, Nadia Omer, and spokesperson of Move, Attorney Castro. Alex and Nadia, thank you both for your time. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
All right, first let's understand the situation. What is the connection between AirAsia Move or Move and AirAsia?
It's a great question. So look, AirAsia is the airline and Move is the online travel agency portal. It's strange because it's the first time an airline has given up its website and its platform to convert it into an OTA. And just today, somebody asked me this question, why would any airline do that? And the answer is, it was a very, very tough decision for Tony and the full group, but they saw the change coming. And Tony has been just completely upset.
Who is Tony, so we understand?
Oh, sorry, Tony Fernandez.
Okay.
Yeah. So Tony Fernandez is the co-founder of Capital A, and that has multiple companies. AirAsia is one of them. So what he saw and what he said was that we know that we will keep losing customers because after the OTAs became the key hub for hotels where customers could compare prices, they wanted the same in airlines. And what he was seeing was that if we did not offer choice to customers, they will leave even the Move or the AirAsia platform as well. So we need to reinvent. It's a bit like a Kodak moment where Kodak developed the digital camera and then didn't do it because it would cannibalize their film business.
So Nadia, basically what you're saying is AirAsia decided not to have, how I'm understanding this, their own website anymore.
Yes.
And they said, we will assign this to an online travel agency instead. Would that be correct?
They gave the platform to Move, and Move manages the full thing. So what's in it for AirAsia? You know, that's the question.
When you say give, what do you mean by give? Did that come at a cost?
Move got the IP.
Okay.
Yeah, because the AirAsia brand does not belong to the airline. The AirAsia brand is way bigger than just the airline, and you will see in the future how Tony Fernandez and his plans go out. It's a full brand company. There will be many different categories where you will see AirAsia. So the brand is owned by the Brand Co., which is one of the companies which only deals with brands and brand marketing and loyalty programs. And the second one is that the IP of the website came to Move. So we have the IP on it. We manage it. We are the board for it. The board for Move and the airline is separate. And you know that the airline is going to be a separate entity completely from Capital A shortly. Those are the proceedings which are happening right now.
Got it. So AirAsia now, as I understand it, is completely different from Move.
Yes.
Okay. But why was it called, why do you call it Move now and not AirAsia Move? Because I personally booked my own tickets there, and it was AirAsia Move. So kindly explain this to us.
Okay. So look, again, this is another tough decision which is driven by customer feedback. Back in October 2023, we launched Move. Super excited. Yeah, it's a big high to launch a new brand. But in February, when we changed our app to just Move, our customers thought this was a spam. Somebody's going to hack my account or something. So we had to give a gradual transition. So right now, it is a bit like Move by AirAsia. And in the coming 1 year, slowly, gradually, you can see that the name will grow smaller and be removed. We are registered as Move Travel. in Philippines. We are registered as Move Travel in Malaysia.
Okay, so what do we call it now?
Please call it Move.
Okay, that's what we call it.
Yes.
We call it Move.
Yes.
In the website, if I check now, will it just say Move or will it still say AirAsia Move?
That's the logo design.
Yeah,
So it's an element of it.
understandable, but that could be misleading. Is it still going to be AirAsia Move when I go to the website?
Yes, it's the
Okay,
logo
so
there.
it will still be there.
Yeah.
But what you're trying to explain to us is eventually the AirAsia will be erased. It
You
will
are
just be
seeing
moved.
that it's getting smaller and smaller, and the green is becoming bigger and bigger. So
Okay.
these are some of the brand transitions which happen in markets.
Okay, Attorney Alex, what about you? Anything you'd like to add to that? So
Yeah.
that at least people don't get confused. So AirAsia Move, you call it Move, but there will still be a small AirAsia there. Okay.
Yeah, just to emphasize that, like what Nadia said, they're already in the process of dropping
Right.
AirAsia from the brand name, the logo, everything. So it's just a slow transition just to make sure that no one feels scammed. Yeah.
And Nadia was saying that was the reason. It was really Move, and then eventually you were kind of forced to bring back AirAsia because people were thinking that it was a scam. Okay, so now that we have that clear, what happened to this supposed rise or cost of a ticket from Leyte to Manila? The Congressman Richard Gutierrez and his wife Lucy Torres were flying back to Manila at a cost of supposed to be, allegedly, 77,000 pesos one way, which caught the ire of the Transportation Secretary, the Transportation Department Secretary. What happened there?
Well, before Nadia discusses the technical glitch that happened in the system.
So it's
I
a
think-
glitch?
Yes.
Okay.
But we need to clarify first what the whole supply chain process is, who's involved, who the parties are. Because this is crucial in understanding how that system glitch affected the prices and, what it really is. So in this supply chain system, specifically applicable to Move also, you have three parties here and then three processes. So the first one is, the first party is the airline, who determines the routes, the number of seats, the prices, as dictated also and regulated by CAB. And then there's a second party, third-party supplier, who buys the inventory in bulk, usually at a lower price, so that's their business. And then they market or they sell the seats through the online travel agencies or the marketing platform, which is what Move is. So just to be clear, the prices are actually dictated by first level or first layer, the airlines, and then second, the third-party suppliers. The only
Sorry,
addition-
I'll go back to
Yeah,
that.
go ahead.
It's first the airline, and then
Yes.
you said a second party.
Yes, a
and then the
third-party
OTA.
supplier. Yeah.
Okay, is the OTA the third-party supplier?
No, they're different companies, different entities. So the third-party suppliers are the companies, the entities who buy the inventory from the airlines and then sell to the public through the marketing platform or the OTAs.
Okay, so airline, third-party,
Supplier, yes.
OTA.
Yes.
Got it.
So the only involvement in terms of determining the price of OTAs are actually their commission fee, which for Move is at a flat rate of around average 3%.
3.
Yes, 3%. So that's the only addition you will see. For example, you mentioned you have experience booking through Move. So if you see there's the breakdown will say that there's a platform fee or a service charge. That's the only thing that goes to Move. Everything else is dictated by, again, the airline or the third-party supplier.
Understand.
Yes. So with respect to the Tacloban flights, what happened was a system glitch. I mentioned that the third-party suppliers are the second layer. They're the ones who dictate input the prices in the platform, the website. So apparently there was a temporary glitch that happened wherein the prices were inflated. So I think there was also a case of, well, specific to the Tacloban flight, it was also a case of ghost listing, in that aside from there was an error in the price reflected in the website, actually the flights being sold were already, with the airline, sold out. So these are inexistent flights. That's why when they checked, when they received the complaints, they checked the system, they checked the logs, they saw that actually no one could book the flights. If you try to book it, an error will occur. So there were no customers actually who were able to buy the Tacloban flights because, again, they were inexistent.
So the 77,000 is inexistent,
Yes.
was inexistent.
Yes.
So it probably just said the amount, but if you actually purchase it, it won't go through.
Yes.
So it never happened.
Yes,
Yeah.
actually, I think they logged it in their records. What happened was there was an attempt.
The 77 was not even logged into our system.
Yeah, there was
Yeah.
no transaction.
Somebody just saw a
referring-
listed price over
Yeah.
there and
Yeah.
felt, oh wow, this is so expensive. And there is one other complaint that CAB shared with us. We went and investigated the log. At least on that, we know somebody pressed the button to want to book. And then they were shown a screen which said pending confirmation. And the next time they were basically said booking cancelled. And no amount was taken away from their credit card, so
Okay.
no transaction record.
So,
that's the only good news here.
77,000 pesos, it reflected in the Move app, but you could not purchase it.
Yes.
I see.
So again, there were no tickets issued, no bookings confirmed, and no payments made.
If that is the process by which, from my understanding, Move all of a sudden in its platform just saw this 77,000 supposed to be for two people, one way, Tacloban to Manila. It just reflected on your app. But this was reflected on your app based on the third party.
Yes. So
Who is the third party?
well,
It's not one.
It's
So
not one.
it's not one. So like I come from FMCG. Imagine you have a small sachet in a sari store. Yeah, it was produced maybe in a factory by one of the big companies, then sold to a wholesaler, through the wholesaler, maybe through distributors, sub-distributors, and then ultimately getting to the sari store. We are the sari
How do you
store.
find it? Yeah.
Yeah. So who all actually exchange hands on it, and how did the price
So
transform?
there's no way, Nadia, Attorney Alex, to find out who was responsible for this and if it was intentional.
well, there's Nadia was trying to trace back actually, and it seems that there was a system-wide error that occurred.
Yeah, so we first thought that something happened to us, and then we started checking. In fact, most of the big OTAs were carrying all of these rates, and when we would click, it wouldn't happen. So,
But
what
it's
is-
the same rate, more or less.
More or less.
Yes.
Yeah, it's those very strange rates, very high rates. So what is very strange about this incident happening right now is that we are in the digital age. So we have to have our BCP planning. In part of the BCP planning, a glitch can happen on one system. But we have at least two other supplies. There is an anomaly on one, the other two supersede. But all three supplies carrying the glitch, and all the platforms other than us as well carrying the glitch, that is concerning. It means that something happened at a very big scale. And this is what we have put up. Unfortunately, we do not know. And all of us in this ecosystem are only privy to our part and nothing before. So it was amazing today to sit at least across the table with all the different regulators and put it there and say, let's come together, because 10 years back, the ticketing value chain was very different. Now there are so many players involved in it, we need to map it out.
Would it be safe to say that that particular area or that ticket was hacked? Were you hacked? No.
No.
So it's a glitch. But a glitch due to what? Coming from where?
It's
Why?
basically-
Why that?
No idea. So what we are seeing is that out of stock inventory, which when we see on the airline's website, it's saying sold out. But somehow it's showing, oh wow, it's still available, but at these astronomical prices, you click on it and
It won't
nothing
push through.
happens.
Yeah.
So this is something we have.
This is the first time it happened.
At this scale, I've
that
never
you know?
seen this before, no. At this scale, we have not seen it before.
All right, we're going to take a very short break. We'll be back with the Chief Executive Officer of Move, Nadia Omer, and spokesperson of Move, Attorney Alex Castro. Stay tuned. This is On Point. You're watching On Point. Still with us, the Chief Executive Officer of Move, Nadia Omer, and spokesperson of Move, Attorney Alex Castro. So that's the explanation that we're hearing from you both. Has this been told? Have you met with Secretary Vince or anybody else that may have been wanting to investigate this?
Well, the good thing is, upon receipt of the complaint, the DOTR, the CAB, and also DTI, they formed a panel right away to investigate the matter. So actually, we have met with them. A hearing has been conducted. Preliminary discussions on the matter have been made. There were initial suggestions as to the solution. For example, the CAB is now proposing to improve or craft new guidelines covering fair pricing, OTA's relationships with a relationship with the other stakeholders, etc.
And was it acceptable, the reasoning or the justification that you had told me to that group that you spoke to?
Well, the good thing about the hearing that was conducted was that the panel acknowledged that, number one, there are a lot of things that we need to understand about OTAs, again, the relationship with the other stakeholders, because this is a new thing. It's new technology, it's new to us. So we're all trying to understand how all of these things work. So that's a good thing about that discussion, is that they were able to start that. Even during the hearing, we're at that stage of the investigation. No resolution has been made on any matter. This is just an exploratory hearing as to trying to pinpoint where the problem is. But we have indicated this to them, that this is where the problem is, at least from the OTA side. So we have yet to hear from third-party suppliers,
Right.
other airlines, to be able to determine or pinpoint where the communication, the problem was.
That's actually what I wanted to find out, because if this is what happened to you, to the OTA, I think part of the discussion should be the third parties and the airlines, because it's a chain coming from the airlines to the third parties to the OTAs. So while it seems that you were the culprit, it seemed like it. There was actually a supply chain here that needs to be looked into.
That's true. So basically, look, it's been some very tough days, and I'm sure for the authorities as well, it's extremely confusing and also can be very frustrating as well. But the good thing which I found today was how people came together to first at least listen and understand how this chain is happening. There were many new things for us as well. There were new things for the authorities. So we started this sharing process over there. And once we start mapping it, as humans, we find a solution to everything. Like, there are so many new developments which are happening, and policy making is happening. And this is where the really, the thought leadership of policy making really comes in. So you guys are very lucky that in this country, that process and that thinking has started. The challenge faced here is not any different from any other country in ASEAN. It is not unique only to Philippines as well. But at least a structured approach is taking place. I love that.
There's something good that came out of this. But what about the possible filing of an economic sabotage case? What did they say about that after your explanation?
Actually,
I don't think that was we didn't talk about that. Actually, for us, the key complaint was actually these two genuine customer complaints that were received by CAB, an investigation into them, showing our full logs in terms of whether the transaction happened or not, and what was this listing. I do not remember a question on to this part in the conversation, at least now in the hearing.
Yes, there were no discussions actually about that alleged economic sabotage case. What we're very happy about during the hearing was that we really saw there was a commitment to go step by step, go through the whole 9 yards of the due process in this case. So what we talked about earlier was strictly confined with that topic, just exploring, trying to figure out where the problem was, and then soliciting suggestions, comments from different stakeholders.
But since then, what kind of steps have been taken to address or prevent a similar incident from happening, even if it didn't push through?
So MOVE has actually, was proactive about it actually. Before they were summoned by CAB and the OTR, they already engaged the third-party suppliers. They've sent notices on the incident and have demanded that the suppliers enforce stricter measures or more checks and balances when it comes to inputting, updating their prices, and also the inventory.
Right.
And the other thing which we are starting from today, based on the guidance, and the details will come maybe slightly later, is that we are putting certain limits so that these type of erroneous bookings, which we never saw coming
Like
before.
a price cap?
Yeah, exactly. Put that in so that it filters out these, because even if somebody puts it, they will not get anything out of it. It's just a really bad customer experience. It's embarrassing for me as a CEO of MOVE. It is my platform's reputation at risk from that customer experience. And I am sure it's the same for the airlines, it's the same for the authorities as well. So what brings us all together is the goodwill and winning the hearts and minds and the trust of the Filipino people. It's an archipelago. Travel is not a luxury or a leisure only. It's literally about everyday life over here. So this is what brings every party to the table. And let's try to solve for this. We are fully going to cooperate. We are going to champion this cause as well. And I'm sure in this, there will be learnings for us. And we will learn from this and improve and continue to partner.
And while we're at it, tell us about the concerns, the major concerns of OTAs.
The major concerns of OTAs is, look, any chain that has too many layers, the price opaqueness comes in. So I think the first and foremost is there a way to go direct so that there's a direct connection there? Is there
So
a
no
way?
more third party, like from airline to OTAs?
No, I mean, maybe still some is required, but in an ideal case, the less the layers, the better the process. It cannot be eliminated. There is a role that this party also plays. And the second one is about maybe a different way of price transparency. Maybe different heads need to come out. We don't know. So it has not been cracked really in the world. We are just all exploring as human beings the new developments and finding new and improved solutions every day. And we are glad that this process of improvement and growth is starting from here.
What kind of government intervention, if you were asked, do OTAs need in the business that you're actually in?
We can't be alone. This type of a platform which happened today, though it happened for the investigation, that would be my wish list, because there's so much depth of knowledge and learning there that I think we are not sharing enough. There's collectively 1 + 1 is actually 3 if we really come together.
There was a good proposition actually from MOVE for maybe a tripartite panel, because I mentioned there are a lot of party stakeholders involved in the supply chain. So they are individually regulated by different departments. But now that they have come together to do this thing of an OTA and then bring the travel closer to the consumers, I think it would be best, and that's a good proposition, that maybe the government can form that tripartite panel, which can maybe implement the guidelines for the OTAs.
Tripartite consisting of who?
Right now, it's for the airlines, it's CAB. For accommodations, it's DOT,
Tourism?
yes, tourism. And then OTAs or travel agencies are usually regulated by the DTI.
I see. And was there any mention from the DTI regarding this incident that had happened? What did they tell you?
They were actually present during the hearing. So we had those three agencies during the hearing earlier. So they are all, again, we're very happy about what happened. They're all committed to forming these guidelines to better guide the OTAs.
Maybe as a last question, if you could tell us what it would be the advantage of having to get the services of online travel agencies or OTAs?
I think this has truly transformed travel. We can see the growth in travel happening because healthy competition is good. And also the way, what is important for customers is also changing. Maybe many years back, there was a very big difference. We were seeing that the overall searches for airline brands is actually going down. And it's not a bad thing, actually. You know why? Because all the airlines have improved their standards to such a big extent that it's actually good. Whether you travel one or the other, it depends on the time that you would like to travel and the best rates that you're getting. So this is something to say about the airline industry, which has done a brilliant job in this region. But people are looking for that choice. And it is better to afford more choices, and that is where OTAs come in, to be able to compare these prices and give that full connected trip. You can choose between different airlines, different times, add hotels, add activities to it. So this is where the customer is going.
I'd like to do a follow-up question. This is, how do you intend to improve the services of Move?
Firstly, by listening. Secondly, acknowledging where we've made a mistake and fixing it. We don't know what the future is, but this is how we are continuously improving. I think this is it because there's nobody who's cracked the playbook.
Mm-hmm. But I guess there is this thought process or this thinking or perspective of some travelers that they'd like to speak to someone when they have booked or are about to book a ticket or they want to change it. Because with Move, it's Bo, right? Bo is there. And I'll tell you quite honestly that I had a good experience because a flight had to be changed, not because of my own doing, but because of the airline. It was actually easy with Bo. However, if he cannot answer your questions, you end up talking to Bo for so long, and then your problem does not get resolved. Are there ways to kind of improve that?
Okay, before Nadia maybe answers on the development side, I would like to answer as a user of the app and also a loyalist of Move. So yes, I'm very much acquainted with Bo, but the advantage of Move is actually they're the only global online travel agency that has an actual presence here in the Philippines. So before, I've had this experience of trying to manage a flight, trying to manage the refund, rebooking, everything. Well, Bo and I had a bit of a disagreement when it comes to that aspect.
Bo debated an attorney?
Yeah. So it was good that they had a physical office that I went to.
Yeah.
And then they were able to assist me actually very well. So that's one advantage. But on the development side, I think
I'll share with you. Look, the thing is, Move the way we are a budget OTA is because we have to save costs everywhere so that we can really be sustainable even at that low commission margin. Now, what is happening on Bo is that we want to be kind of like the IKEA of furniture, which is, yes, you will do self-service. That's how we save money because for every staff that we keep, you have to pay for that, yeah? But we do it in a very intuitive way. And now with AI coming in, we have partnered with Google. And in the next 2 or 3 months, you will see a very different version. You don't need to pick from the questions. It understands natural language.
All right.
Yeah, and will hopefully, by the end of this year or by beginning of next year, be able to actually book you the flight ticket as well.
All right.
So just bear with us.
Yeah.
We're working on it. We are listening.
Thank you so much to the Chief Executive Officer of MOVE, Nadia Omer, and spokesperson of MOVE, Attorney Alex Castro. Thank you so much both
Thank you.
for your time. And that's On Point. Join us again on Monday, 7:30 p.m. here on BNC, the Billionaire News Channel. I'm Pinky Webb. Thank you for watching.